everything that you currently know, and you had to talk to 20 people, what's the one thing you would do to get in front of 20 people today?
Easy. I would do an open house, then I'd go walk around big stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, make sure that I'm connecting with people, have 20 business cards numbered in my pocket, and go out there and make sure every single one of them got handed out.
I like that idea. That's actually a new one. I haven't heard that one before.
What's your strip look like at Home Depot?
Hi, I'm Dan.
You don't get the police call on you?
Jimmy, when you come with the air and presence that I do, people don't call the cops.
Okay, well, what does Eric do?
Eric's even more polite and presentful than I am. And he's taller than I am. He's more
Yeah.
imposing than I am.
What does an ugly guy like me do?
Pray. But that's the thing, is how do you get in front of 20 people? Is you get out in front and talk to 20 people. You got social media. That's not hard to talk to 20 people. You got more than 20 people in your social media feed that are in or are not in Tucson. I got a dove sitting on top of the railing in front of me, watching me like we're on the call together. Birds are spies, man. Birds are spies.
I need to throw something out there, a win really quick while I'm here.
Yeah, you do.
Look at that cool shade my husband made.
Oh, that's pretty badass. Over top of the badass truck.
Yeah. He always does his work for clients, but never does it for us. So I'm like super happy and it looks so good. And my listing is going live today.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Oh, that's it? Just one win? Just because, like, I've got to win, so no one else can have wins?
You didn't do your thing.
Investment
You need
opportunity
to
I
do your
shared with
thing.
you.
I don't need to do the thing. You guys know the thing. This is what we call practice and training.
I like
You should already be able to let me hear your wins, your celebrations, and something you're just dang proud of.
There you go. Thank you.
Hey,
now I can feel like my day's not gonna burn.
My day has gone to shit until Dan says his sentence. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. It's no better day to be a realtor in the United States than today. But let's start off the right way, shall we, Serena? Let's share some wins, some celebrations, something you're just dang proud of.
I'm happy I made it today.
I'm happy.
Less busy at work.
As the tax season's over by one day, and it's already less busy.
Yes.
It's wild how that happens.
This is Ryan, my first time sharing. So I had my first listing appointment on Friday and a celebration. My son, who's training to be a pilot, is doing a spin test today. They fly him up 20,000 feet, cut the engines, and he goes into a spin and he has to recover. So I'm super proud of that guy.
I hated that part.
I'm not gonna lie, my heart stopped a little bit because when you said fly 20,000 feet and cut the engines, I'm like, yeah, no, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's scary as a parent, but man, I'm super proud of this kid.
We're working on stalls. I just joined in.
Yeah, my son's doing
pilot.
a spin test. They cut the engine at 20,000 feet. He goes into a spin and he has to recover.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ryan, you know this. There's a couple pilots on this call.
Awesome, very cool.
There's also a couple people with agoraphobia and acrophobia and acroagoraphobia. The fear of heights, the fear of everything, and the fear of everything that's tall. So,
all right, thanks for letting me share.
Oh no, we didn't let you, Ryan. This is your right. Right to share.
How old is he?
He's 20.
Dude, heck yeah. I got mine when I was 19. That's badass.
Awesome. Very cool.
You guys make me want to go do crazy things like, I don't know, be a pilot.
It's pretty awesome.
Kind of semi-win for you. Had a touch of base with my database, right? And I had this lead that kind of went stale. Didn't respond back to me, no nothing. And finally, they responded back to me, yeah, I'm still looking. And I've been listening to the book, Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. If you don't listen to it, listen to it. It's great. But just using that and asking the questions that are in there, I actually got another appointment with them.
Nice. Nice, Gary.
What's the book called again, Eric?
Exactly what to say for
What
real
to
estate.
say for real estate.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What? Sorry.
Yeah, it's a cool book. I got that as a Christmas present before I became an agent, and it's really helpful.
I've
Yeah.
got the game or like the cards, the flashcards. I think it's a game, but we should all do that at Dan's next shindig, whatever that may be. Can't wait till Christmas though. That's too far out.
Right.
Oh.
No, I have it on an audiobook. I'm on about 9 or 10th rotation of it.
Here you go. It's a black book. It's exactly what
Yep.
to say for real estate agents. Jones, Smith, and Mackin. I used to know the guy's name, but I can't remember right now. Jeff Jones? No.
Phil Jones.
Phil
Jones.
Jones. Thank you.
Mike Jones?
Mike Jones.
Jones.
No, Phil M. Jones. Great book, great success, great teacher of knowledge. Now, Kevin, you had something you wanted to talk about today, right? A little strange, sticky, weird situation. Holy crap, is Christina
Yeah.
camera on? Eyebrows on fleek. She's all, I'm gonna stab you with a pen. Let this be my
You would too.
euphemism. Kevin, where'd you go? You said yeah and then went back on mute. You can just come. I'm off of mute.
Okay, when you started talking, I was actually looking up that book and I was going to share the link in the chat, but you had already shared in there. So I found it on Amazon. And thank you for that, by the way. I'm gonna
Audible is fun.
sorry.
They're just
I've
saying
been using it on Audible.
Yeah.
That's where I bought it, so I don't have to read.
That's
Yeah.
how I read most of my books.
It plays constantly in my truck, my office. I'm moving around. That thing is in my ear.
I hate to burst your bubble, guys, but that's not called reading.
Oh.
It's
Christina,
reading,
I
Christina. Okay,
I don't
it's
know
What do
how
you
to
reading.
mean
read.
it is? Sorry.
No, it's not reading. I agree.
Someone is reading it. That's all that matters.
That's right.
Touche.
Okay.
Eric, you should check out Ninja Selling. That one's good too.
I have that one.
All right.
All right. Book talk done for a minute. Kevin, what do you got?
Yes. So and these go into my wins. So I've had some clients which I'm happy about, and one just my pre-approval came through. So we're working on that. So that's great. But I have a friend of mine, one of my clients, he's got it's a historical property, got a father that's in basically hospice. And it's like I got a net 200,000 and the market for the property is about 180K, and it's got a bunch of historical, like legitimate contingencies about the property and stuff. And so I guess you would call these and I just lost the word objections for some of these, how to navigate trying to get he wants to sell it before probate, and the timeline, and it's kind of jumping all over the place. He's like, well, I can wait, but I need the money now. And I'm like, all right. And then I have another client that is currently living in a triplex, so it's a rental income property. However, she's struggling trying to get approved for a regular conventional loan for a property, because she's just not there. She's friends with the owner, and then just a few months ago, for Christmas, for in December, decided that she was going to gift her the car that she had paid off to her grandson and purchase a new car. And then 3 months later, 4 months later, gets hit with, hey, can you do this? And because of the car, she can't qualify. So I've reached out to my mortgage broker that I'm getting to know pretty well about other options for a rental income property because it's actually a triplex, and trying to see if I can work the angle of it's actually an income producing property, not just a residential loan. And the one more is I had a client that couldn't make up their mind whether they wanted to rent or sell a property, right? Because they're uncertain of the market. Now, update as I spoke to, hey, how's it going? And I reach out to these clients regularly, just every week or so. Hey, how you doing? And then we have these conversations. And now, for the third one, daughter and their friends are renting a property. Mother's a little bit concerned, don't know how it's going to go. And I said, well, perhaps daughter may need to get a little bit more invested into the property to understand the full picture. And then now we're moving along the lines of having a conversation about possibly daughter purchasing the property so she can not only understand more of what mom's position, but investing in her future as well. So those are the ones that I wanted to discuss with you about is, anybody had any more, input into these particulars because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I can tell by the amount of words you use to describe it all.
Thanks.
So first and foremost, what's the most important one?
What do you mean?
I mean, you talked about so many different scenarios. The problem with asking for support on multiple things is all the details blend together. So let's start with one.
Yeah.
Work
Okay.
on, right? This goes for all of you. If you guys are working situations like this, you got multiple fires, isolate them, separate them so that you understand the details and the needs for each specific scenario. Otherwise, you'll start blending things together.
Dad's talking for the slow people like me. That was so much.
Okay, so first,
Now, the one thing that stood out to me is you said the guy wants to sell before probate.
so yeah, my first client has a father. So that was just an overview of the three. On the
Yeah.
first one, just for that one, he wants to sell before probate. So him and his father own a property. It was left to them by grandma, mom, and so they're both on it. So in order to sell the property, I had to find this out because he wasn't forthcoming. He said, "Hey, I got this property. I want to sell it." Just a general conversation. I said, "Okay." I looked it up. It was built in the 30s. I couldn't find hardly any information on it. I had my title guy pull title. I see there's two owners. I said, "Who's Jack?" Right? "Oh, that's my dad." And I kind of, and I said, "Okay, so what's going on with Jack?" "Oh, he's in the hospital." And then it started to have the conversation about him being in the hospice, and basically 3 months to live. Because it started with, I have all the time in the world to sell this property. Then I asked who Jack was, and then, oh, they're in hospice. They're this other owner. There's my father. They gave me 3 months to live. I want to sell the property before he passes away, so I don't have to deal with probate. And it's a historical property, and so I said, "Is that like, documented? You have to stay within, the confines of, historical boundaries." He said, "Yes, I have all that stuff." And he's like, "I have the net 200,000." His dad's telling him, so his dad's currently involved in it. And so it's a little bit of a sticky situation. He wants to move quick, but then he wants to wait out,
So
for
here-
top dollar.
All right, so
an
let's break it apart. Probate's not involved. If dad and son are on the title, dad and son are still alive, dad and son sign the listing agreement, dad and son sell it, right?
I don't think son's on title, is he? Isn't it dad and someone else?
Yes.
Dad?
It's both of them, but he wants to sell it before having to deal with probate, even though I discussed a little bit if there was any
it's
if
dad
there's
and
any
son.
concerns
Is dad
about
sick?
probate. Yes, in the hospital right now.
Is
So,
dad
like-
able to sign things or is
That's
dad?
what I was getting.
He
at.
has
Not
he has
fine.
Do
he
what?
has power of attorney.
Okay, so son has power of attorney over father. Father is presumably still mentally sound enough to make decisions, but not physically able to.
Pretty much.
Okay. Now, the other side of it is he needs to net $200,000. Needing to net and what that's worth are completely separate. Just because the seller says I need to net it, don't let that be an objection that you follow on. All of you listen to this, right? What's a house worth?
What someone's willing to pay for it.
That's it. You just gotta tell people that. You know what? Hey, I appreciate you letting me know what you're trying to get out of the house. Based on the information in the market, this is what the home's worth. What do you want to sell it for?
We're chipping away at that. He's been, and every little bit and thing, we're kind of chipping away at that.
Oh yeah, people will see that they've got a house to sell and they think it's a payday and they're like, oh, I'm gonna make $1 million. Dude, your house is worth $50.
Have you guys, so wait, so is he going on market or are you trying to get a cash buyer? Like, have you guys talked through that?
That's what I'm trying to sort through, and there's a lot of things to sort through with, and he's all over the place, all over the map. Kind of sounds like me, and I'm like, okay, how would I deal with me? But there's a lot of things to sort through, and the thing is, again, on one hand, he's like, I'm gonna wait out the 200K, and if you can net me 200K, then you know you can get it. And I said, well, regardless of what you do, you're still going to need an agent to walk you through the paperwork.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Kevin. Text me the address. I'll do some researching also. But for him to
Okay,
net
thanks.
$200,000, guys, what do we need to factor in?
Kevin's costs, title and escrow fees, if there's a agent fee on the other side,
Taxes, right?
yeah,
There's any money.
any other liens or all the things.
Yeah, so that's what you kind of got to ask those questions too, Kevin. So what do you owe on it? Is there any liens against the property? Do you know what your tax debts are? And then a really quick mathing, guys, if you want to tell someone what the fees are to sell a house, what should you show them?
On market,
Yeah. Let's always give them worst case and work backwards, right?
8 to 9%.
8 to 9%. You're 8 to 9%, right? If you want to sell it for 200, you want to net $200,000. How much do you need to sell it for? I don't know. Here's the math, right? Take your number that they want to net times 1.09. $218,000. Does the market support $218,000? We don't know. Let's do some research, right? Pretty easy.
Yeah, and with that being said, because that's what basically I had in my mind, perhaps a traditional listing. I don't know if that will get there, but having historical significance perhaps may. And I know that if not personally, that there may be other organizations out there that might be willing for some preservation. But right now, I know the only offers he's had is businesses or corporations trying to buy out the area to, I don't know, create more business, industrialize it or something. So
What do those deals look like?
180.
Maybe that's reality.
But
Yeah,
if it's a historic area and it's actually registered as historic, then they wouldn't be able to do eminent domain. They'd have to keep it as historic. So
he said it.
You sound rough, Jason. I hope you're feeling better.
No, I feel like shit. Thanks.
He said, I asked him if it was registered. He said it wasn't. And so I still got to get some more documentation about exactly what he meant by that. But it throws it makes it a little bit extra challenging with the extra things. So
speak your language. So the document that you need is just the address. Look up the address. It'll tell you if it's in a historic neighborhood. If it's not, then it doesn't need to do anything extra. So you're overthinking it.
Well, he would have to if he's trying to get historical classification for either preservation or tax purposes.
I think they're just confused that the house is built in 1939 and
Probably
considered historic.
Yeah.
There's not very many neighborhoods in Tucson.
This is Casa
This
Grande.
isn't
Casa Grande, yeah. But he said that that they told him that there was certain things that he could and could not do. He couldn't mess with the exterior, what the property looked like, and as like the windows, the small little square glass. And so if they wanted to replace that, he had to keep the frame the same way. He couldn't rip the whole frame out and then put a new window in. And so and I'm like, that checks out. I know that in those.
Is it in an HOA?
No.
Is that in the CCNRs then?
That's what I'm not 100% sure about, and I'm trying to work on that. And my title guy pulled some stuff, and I looked at it, and I didn't see a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of information, which is also odd.
Is there CCNRs?
I don't know. Are there? Are you conflating HOA rules and regs with CCNRs?
Me, no. But like out here, we have land with CCNRs, but there's nothing there.
CCNRs are recorded against planned communities, lot and block society stuff. They're very hard to get past. They're almost as strong as deed restrictions. So you want to make sure that you're doing some title legwork, some early bird stuff, because that can really limit value on something if someone has restrictions on what they can do, especially if it's raw land and it's out in the middle of nowhere. Like we have an entire community in the southwest of Tucson called Diamondville with hundreds of lots that are, between $5,000 and $8,000 for an acre. Super cheap lots, but you can only build single family residences of a certain size, certain caliber. And the developer who bought up everything and started this back in the 70s went defunct, and the CCNRs and the zoning never changed.
We have a lot of that out here in Benson area.
Yeah, because they thought Benson was gonna be a lot bigger than it was.
Long story short, this sounds like it's fun from a let me dig into it perspective, but this guy wants cash fast and sounds like dad doesn't have a whole lot of time. I'd literally run a report. What does the market support right now for something like this versus what can we get for cash offers? Here's your two options. Which one do you want to go with? Let's get it done. Let someone else worry about what they can do.
I don't disagree with that. And the condition, and there's a tenant in there too. So it is also a rental income property. And I'm talking to him about, you can keep it, you don't have to sell it. And it's a bit all over the place. And then with the historical stuff and not being able to find a whole lot of information,
Kevin,
is
what's
where
the address?
it gets tricky. The address is,
put it in the chat so it's not
yeah,
verbal.
Maybe the
Those of
tenant
you
wants
that are
to buy
listening
it.
to like a podcast today, any questions, any thoughts? Is this ringing some thoughts in your brains? Because you're going to have deals like this too. And Christina's bringing up some bangers of points. Sounds like they want a quick close. Let it be someone else's problem.
That's what I was going to suggest. I'd put it in there that buyer is responsible for their own due diligence.
They always are.
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah. I love it when people rewrite the contract, especially on the bottom of an addendum. All other terms and conditions remain unchanged. Duh. That's the whole
Hey,
point.
listen, I throw that in there every time.
I know you.
I have to. I have to. There are some people, and Dan's gotten on to me about you put too many words in there. It's I have to. You don't understand these people. I have to.
Eric, I'm a new agent coach.
Sometimes I've got every now and then, the ones that Dan and I freaking constantly deal with and that he always hears about. Somebody would be like, just do this. And I'm like, I can't. I literally cannot do that because I've already identified every single hole that they're going to shoot straight through and make it my fault.
Yep. Me and Christina are very much alike.
Especially our beards.
It's about to say, my first go-to.
You got better eyebrows than I do.
She works on them.
Pencil.
She cares the way she looks. That's the difference. Kevin, did you find us an address yet? Or are you still
there? It goes.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right. So one of my favorite things to do is let's just get a baseline. We don't know the condition.
Take my mic off. I forget to turn it on and off. He said it does need some work. I asked him about that. He said it needed some pipes in the ground. It needed some things.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay. Yeah, so I know a little bit about that, but then I get stuck with the historical.
Kevin, don't get stuck with anything. Let it go, man.
Hey, Kevin. Kevin, who told you the historical value of the house?
The historical value?
Yeah. Who told you that this house had historical significance?
Right. The owner did.
Yeah, don't fucking listen to him.
And I get that, but when I followed up with him, he said some
Yeah,
things that
160 to 190, most likely ballpark mid 170s, assuming the average condition for the area.
If he's
Right,
got a
and-
180 cash offer from a developer, I'd take
Yeah,
it all day
take it-
long.
take it and
Thank you
run.
very much. See you later.
Yep, take it a run.
and that's what we're trying to get to. And he's like, I don't know. And I said, well, I get it. Here's the market. Here's the stuff, the historical, aspect of all these things. But I think eventually, given his time frame and all this stuff, keep reminding him of the kind of the box we're in. And he's like, he went from no to I don't know, And so I'm like, all right, we're going in the right direction. I think maybe.
This is in Casa Grande.
Yep.
Yeah.
How rough shape is it?
I haven't been there. He's got people living in it right now. But
Good thing
yeah,
about
I asked the same thing.
See it from the street.
And so I was like, Google.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know the property.
Yeah, it's
I
corner
drive by
lot.
it all the time.
Yeah, it's corner lot.
Yeah.
It's a cute little house, man.
Yeah.
What's you renting it for?
Dan's like, huh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kevin,
I'm not.
I'll send you over a referral. I got a client of mine, client/friend that invests out there, so it might be right up their alley.
I want everyone to think
Sweet,
like that.
thanks.
When I look at it, like, oh, that's a cute little house. I could rent that. It's a nice house, corner lot on a major streets. I don't see any broken down cars in the neighborhood. I do see an empty lot across the street, which is always a. But the neighbor has 3 F-150s. Clearly, they're drug traffickers.
I mean,
All right, no, it's not a bad place. It's probably going to need a roof, and you said it needs some underground plumbing work, so you need like $20,000-$30,000 worth of work.
Yeah. So I'll send you
Historical
somebody.
But let me. I'm going to do something for you, Kevin, right now. It does not have any historical significance. Just because it's old does not mean it's got historical significance, right, Jimmy?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
the only thing that trips me up is when he says that they told me that what I could and couldn't do with my windows. And I'm like, okay, who and do you have that documented? And
Yeah.
that's where it's like,
You can
trying to find.
research it. Casa Grande does have some recognized historical structures, but not this one.
Can I just tell you also, even if it is like, there's, as somebody that sold a 1930s some odd house downtown and has a 1972 house right now, literally take the money and run. Like, once you start getting into, is this permitted? Is that permitted? Is this up to code? Is that up to code?
Yeah.
Let the buyers worry about it.
Newspapers holding outlets into walls, because that's a great idea. No, just no.
No, it's as a listing agent, Christina's right. You need to be cognizant of the can of worms that you are walking into. And if a seller has this bravado and this overinflated sense of value on a property because of this, that, or the other thing, or your aunt told you that it was worth $1 million and now that's all you're going to ever want, it's going to be a problem for you and a headache for you. Knowing that the house has additions, or knowing the house needs work, or knowing that there's some type of material issue with the home requires disclosure on your end. If you got a buyer that's willing to buy it, talk to your sellers and say, the value of a property is what a buyer's willing to pay. That's the ultimate truth here. And as a real estate professional, don't be so hungry for deals that you're chasing headaches.
And again, it is a personal friend of mine. So there's that,
And I
like a challenge.
Afraid to have hard conversations with them, saying, "Listen, I was on a call with 20 professionals this morning talking about your property, and I'm not saying you're not going to get $200,000. I'm just saying that based on all the information we pulled with the 45 years of experience that we're talking at one point, it's not likely, especially when the house next door sold for less."
I thought you were going to say I was on a call with 20 people. 19 of them are saying that you're not going to get this number, but I'm not saying that.
Well, and do you want to sit
It's
and
actually pretty funny, Jason. Do that.
yeah. Do you want to sit and wait it out?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Kevin, thank you for bringing some situations to us today. Let's continue on. For those of you that want to join us, we have the broker call today at 10 o'clock. That is
9
at
o'clock?
KCN train. Is it 10 o'clock? 9
9
o'clock.
o'clock.
Right, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Arizona time. 10 o'clock Texas, if you 10 o'clock New Mexico, I don't know. So it is 9 a.m. Join us there, kcntraining.com for the open hand broker call, kcntraining.com. That's kcntraining.com. Pretty easy. Yes?
And if you're someone that calls Dan while we're on the broker call,
I will put you on
we're
speakerphone.
all
and
gonna
we will
blast
talk.
you.
We will
I'm gonna
talk
do it.
on the call.
I'm gonna
So
do it.
is it 8:30 right now in Arizona?
Yes.
All right.
Rachel? 8:31 actually, and I'm late for my 8:30. So love you, mean it. See you guys at 9.